Hello students, how are you? I hope you are all fine. Now I'll take your social science class for class 7. Everyone take out your book, social science books, and take out books page number 122. And today we'll learn this chapter, the name of this chapter, Changing Face of the Earth. And we'll start from here. The surface of the earth can be called its face, which is about 4,600 million years old. Ever since its creation, it has undergone several and phases of change in intervals of several millions years and will continue likewise in the futures as well. The evolutions of continents. Alfred Wegener in the 19th century put forward the theory of continental drifts and stating that about 225 to 200 million years ago, the Earth's landmass was just for supercontinent called Pangaea. The southern part of this supercontinent was known as Gondwana land, and the northern part was called Laodicea. According to Wegener, Pangaea was surrounded by a superocean called Panthalassa. On the eastern side, where the two lands were joined, was Wallowa Sea and called the Tethys Sea. Due to the geological changes over millions of years, the supercontinent broke into many large small pieces and drifted away from each other, resulting into the formation of the present-day continents. The continental ocean's crust, the continuously in motions in the continental drift theory proves that the land must have changes their positions when two the ocean crust move away from each other and molten lavas and oceans and bowed the sun out on the sea floor. This the molten lava then cools and the certificates to form new ocean crust. Plate tectonics. The theory of plate tectonics state at the lithospheric crust is broken into six largest and several small blocks called plates. The whole process, the plate movements, is referred to the plate tectonics. These plates move very slowly, just a few millions each years in the different direction. The movements of these plates has been broadly classified into three categories: convergence, disconvergence, and transfer movements. The movements of the plates gives rise to several forces which are the categories into endogenesic and exogenesic forces. Now we will learn endogenesic process. These forces act in the interior of the earth are called the endogenesic process. This process is responsible as the formations of mountain. There are many types of foundation. The Flood mountain, block mountain, and volcanic mountain that formed. We'll learn now the fault mountain that formed by the squeezing of the earth's crust and the compressible forces from the opposite side, like in Himalayas, Asia, Alps, and etc. And block mountain they formed by the faults and cracks on the earth's crust, like the Vos in Germany, and volcanic mountains that are formed by the volcanics and eruptions like the Fujiyama in Japan and other landsforms in the important and Central Asia and USA, and like this. And now everyone turn over the page. Now we'll learn the sudden forces. The quick and unexpected movement there on Earth's crust is known as the sudden forces. These are because the sudden changes the vibration, so is the result of the coastal deformation, and sometimes the loss is life and the property, and main the sudden force and the volcanism than earthquake. Now we learn the volcanism. The hot molten and the material in the interior of the earth is called the magma. Magma is rise surface with the great forces through the cracks and opening of the rocks. Vent in volcano is rocky in the earth's crust and nearly the circular shape, and through which is the products like rock materials, the gases and other come up violently in the such sudden eruption is volcanic eruptions. The what molten the materials the spread out and gets the cooled and solidification after coming in the contact and outside atmosphere and is known as the lava. And now basis the periodically and eruptions and volcanism can be classified into the active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes, and the extinct volcanoes. Now we'll learn the active volcanoes. These are the main sources of hazards and they are live. The volcanoes are alive in the erupt at any point of the time. This is constantly the eject and the magma and all present there are the about and 1500 active volcanoes across the Lycurgus the Mount Etna in Italy. And next one is dormant volcanoes. These are also called the sleeping volcanoes. Sleeping volcanoes as have to occur and receive the historic time they may further and erupt at any time in future. An example Mount Mauna Loa in the valley and extinct volcanoes. These are the dead volcanoes. Are no further changes and they are the eruptions and all the eruptions is the reason to have ended. This is the classified most stable part of the earth. There are the storehouse for minerals, for example, and Mount Aconcagua in the Argentina. Now we'll learn about earthquakes. So what is earthquakes? Now we'll learn. The plants of the Earth's crust are in continuous motions and the movement of these lithospheric plates produce earthquakes. Not only on movement but several categories and movements and responsible for the causing of Earth's vibrations. The sudden snaking of the Earth's crust takes place in account and the release of the energy such the occurrence shocks waves and the seismic waves is called the earthquake. The point instead of the birth an earthquake organ the originated is called is the focus. Where is originated? This is the focus and the directly above on the earth's surface it is called epicenter. And there are three types of earthquakes wave. These are primary, secondary, and the long waves, railing waves or LOS. And this is the primary waves. This is the these the faster moving waves and these move in the forward and backward motions and fast and reach in the surface of the earth. And second one is called so secondary waves. These are second waves and reach the station. Their movements are similar to movement and snake and cannot travel through the liquids and the produce in a strong the snaking action which the causes the damage. And third one is L waves. These are the produced by the interactions of P and S waves and this originated from the epicenter and cause the maximum damage. They move like C waves are the slowest. And earthquakes was learned and here is now we'll learn about the scale and measurement of magnitude of the intensity of the earthquakes is called the Richter scale. So, measurement and managing intensity of the earthquakes is called the Richter scale. The earthquakes are measured from 0 to 9 This the increases every 1 unit and scale and causes the following increases the intensity earthquake. The highest ever the reported the instantly earthquake on the Richter scale was 9.5. The Chile the earthquakes the 1960 and Richter scale and the submarine earthquake the Indonesia in 2004 were the most destructive earthquakes 9.1 onto Richter scale all till date. Tsunami and Japanese word the meaning describing tidal wave but actually is the seismic wave caused by the earthquakes in the occurring on the ocean floor. It can also the tricked by the volcanic eruption is caused the displacement of ocean's water that leads to great loss life and probably on the shores. And there are the distributions. The distributions earthquakes, the volcanoes, the distribution all over the world, especially the especially on the coastline along the techniques and boundaries on the coastline along the tectonic boundaries account the specific locations along the Indonesian Australian plate and the boundary eastern side of Australasia and western side of the North America plate and along the tectonic boundaries the specific ring fire around the Pacific Ocean around the North Southern Atlantic locations. And These are the case study of this subject. There are the earthquakes in the Bhutan town in the Gujarat on 26 January 2001 and measured 6.9 on the Richter scale and causes of the emergence of loss of life property. And there are the earthquake, the preparedness and safety measurement. And remember, so earthquakes, the preparedness and the safety measurements. What is generally safety measurements and case on actually briefly stated as follow: take urgent and moving issues and the government difference over radio and television and other newspaper. Move out if you feel it is safer, but do not the panic when the earthquake occurs when outside. Don't stay under tree and near the walls of a building, and don't rush outside or go to the balcony unless you feel you housing and going the collapse. Stay near the door and crawl and under a strong table, but stay away from walls. This is the safety measures. And remember, loss in human life and mostly because of the collapse and buildings, trees and poles and unsafe structure. So student, I will learn this chapter. And this chapter, the changing phase of the earth. This from here to here, everyone learn at your home. Okay.